What's up, y'all? I'm out here at the range, as you can see behind me, on what's turned out to be a fantastic day. Nice and sunny. Temps are low 60s out here with a little bit of a breeze, so really nice day to do some testing. I've gotten a couple done so far, and this one right here should be a really interesting 357 Magnum test. So the jelly contraption set up, ready to go for one more test with a couple of chronos and 2 blocks of gel. Now I've got some pretty big tracks on the back of both of these blocks. Little bit of a straggler here on this second one, but I don't think we're going to need any of that, so we should have plenty of room here. Of course, as you can see, I'm using my heavy clothing barrier that's got the layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And what we got for this one is some 357 mag that I've actually never tested. I've never even tested any gold dot 357 mag. I really didn't realize that, so when I got looking around, now they've got the 125 and the 158, and they've also got this short barrel 135 grain. So 135 grain gold dot projectile, and this is formulated to be run out of short barrels. Matter of fact, the info that they give is 990 FPS, and that's from a 2-inch vented barrel according to their info. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, if I felt the same way about 357 mag as I do about 10 mil, I'd probably be fit to be tied just over the numbers on this right here. 990 FPS from a 135 grain 357 Magnum. Now I mean, that's weak 9 mil level power right there. So I don't know what the deal is with this stuff. Y'all let me know in the comments. 357 mag carriers, I guess. I mean, is this something you would even consider carrying? I just really don't get why you would even bother with a 357 mag that's not even 9 mil power. But that being said, I do think these are probably going to do a good job in the gel. There you can see your cartridge, nice nickel plated with that short barrel gold dot projectile. Now, a lot of people, me including, look at that short barrel this and all kind of gimmicky stuff like that as pure gimmicks. But from what I've seen in the past from these short barrel projectile gold dots in another caliber or two, they actually do seem to help in the shorter barrels as far as getting some expansion. So obviously, since this is short barrel formula, we're going to run it out of a couple of shorter barrels here. I've got my 2-inch Taurus 605 357 Magnum, so that's about as short as you can get, and they're claiming 2-inch vented, so we should at least see that 990. And then for a little bit longer here, I've got my Taurus 608. If y'all hadn't seen this, those of y'all not familiar, this is actually a 8-round 357 Magnum, so this is a nice revolver right here. Now this is technically 4-inch ported. However, I consider it more of a 3-inch barrel with a ported blast chamber. This one is just like my 44 Magnum. I'm sure y'all not going to be able to see down in there. I'll try to get you some better views of it, but it's basically a 3-inch barrel, and that entire last inch is nothing but an oversized blast chamber with port. So there's no rifling, and it's an oversized on that last inch. So really it's a 3-inch rifled barrel with that blast chamber. And the only reason I didn't go with a standard 3-inch barrel is because I realized I don't even have a 3-inch barrel 357. I've got plenty, multiple 2-inch, multiple 4-inch, multiple 6-inch, but I don't have a 3-inch. So I think that's something I'm gonna have to fix here pretty soon. So anyway, it ought to be interesting to see what these short barrel formula projectiles do. Let's get it all set up and see what happens. All right, let's see what kind of numbers we get from this stuff. I'm gonna do a 5-round average from each barrel length, starting with this little 2-inch first. Now remember, the info on this says 990 from a 2-inch ported barrel, so I expect to exceed that right here with this 2-inch barrel. Now you will see multiple velocity readings from this lab radar, the large numbers right here at the muzzle, and then you've got 5 across the bottom. The first one there is set for 3 yards, which is roughly where the gel is here at 10 feet, and then I've got the others set for 10, 15, 25, and 50 yards. So let's see what this little shorty does. Again, I expect over 990 based on what they're claiming. Let's see what happens here. 1,067, 1119, that's 75 yards, 1134, and that was double action too. 1134 again. And 1133, so right much more than that 900, which I'm very glad to see. Let's check out the average. All right, our 5-round average right there from the 2-inch barrel was 1,117 feet per second. We had a 67 extreme spread with a 28.7 standard deviation, so a little bit of a spread going on there. 1117 when they were claiming 900. That's definitely much better, but that's still probably, I don't know, that's probably still only around 400 foot-pounds of energy from a 357 Magnum. Now, granted, it's just a 2 2-inch barrel, and you wouldn't want incredibly rowdy stuff. Well, most people wouldn't. I would, but most people wouldn't. So y'all tell me, what do you think about that kind of energy level from a 357 Magnum? But now let's see what the little longer barrel from the 608 does. All right, let's see what this 608 does. I would expect probably pretty decent jump here, probably 60, 75 feet per second jump. It's hard to really say, being that this is claiming to be 4-inch ported, but it's kind of really 3-inch. Let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens here. 1205, 1271. That's what I was hoping to see, some good numbers. 1240, 1243. And 1232, so definitely a lot nicer right there. Let's check out the average. All right, that was a little bigger jump than I expected for sure. Our 5-round average right there was 1,238 feet per second. We had a 66 extreme spread with a 23.8 standard deviation. So both of them about the same as far as consistency. 1,238, and if you remember on the 2-inch, it was 1117. So you talking about 121 feet per second difference. So that's a pretty significant difference. I mean, that's acting like a 2-inch longer barrel. So, you know, take that 4-inch ported for what it's worth. Like I say, it's really only a 3-inch rifle barrel, but you can see the difference here. All that being said, being that these are short barrel projectiles, I think these are going to do a good job in the gel. But let's get this all reset, and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's this shorty's kind of sporty jelly time. I'm gonna put one through each barrel length into the gel, starting with the 2-inch. I really don't even know what kind of guess to make on this right here. I really have absolutely no idea what these are going to do. Let's find out. All right, that should have been a good one. Let me go see what it looks like. All right, that one's looking really nice down there, despite dropping to under 1,000 FPS right there at the gel. So this one right here should have no problem giving us some good stuff. All right, that should have been another nice one. Let's go check these out. All right, let's check out what we got down here. Very, very nice performance from both of these. I'm actually kind of surprised after seeing the velocity. Well, I really shouldn't see that. I was surprised at the box velocity, but then after seeing a little bit more, it looked a little better, but we dropped back down to sub 1,000 here at the gel. So I am kind of surprised it did so well, but like I mentioned earlier, these short barrel projectiles really do have some kind of difference between the standard ones. You can just tell. The only thing that I still really don't like here, this being 357 Magnum, is the low velocity and energy. But looking at them here in the gel, right there on the top, that's the one from the Taurus 605, the little 2-inch barrel. As you can see, it comes in here, very nice disruption. As soon as it comes in here, nice expansion immediately. Travels on through this block, probably about 1.5 to 2 inches from the end here. You get a little bit of rebound, and you got some really nice expansion from what I can tell. And then of course down here on the bottom, that's the one from the 608, the 4-inch ported, or 3-inch with the blast chamber, whatever you want to call it. More of the same, really, just more of it. Very, very nice disruption. Now this was moving about 1,100 when it hit down here. So really, really nice energy transfer, nice disruption again, all the way through the block. This one actually goes within about 1/4 of an inch of the end of this first block. Again, it had some rebound, and again, some really nice looking expansion. Now, as far as the penetration on them, the one from the 2-inch barrel is at exactly 14.25, so very, very nice right there. And then the one from the 608, the 4-inch ported, 3-inch, whatever you want to call it, is actually at 15.75. So both of these had some very, very nice penetration. And then here's your close-up look. Again, the top is 605, bottom is 608. Really, really nice from both of those. Check that out. Just really nice straight line, very nice disruption. There's the one from the 605, and then the 608 carries on just a little bit further. All right, let's take a look at these projectiles. This one right here is from the 605 2-inch. This is from the 608 4/3-inch. You can definitely see a difference here. Now, both of them look absolutely amazing. Fantastic job, but there is no doubt which one the longer barrel was. This one right here, you can see the little gold dot in the middle even. This one right here left a little bit on the table as far as expansion, but but for a 2-inch revolver, that right there is very, very impressive. So let's get the numbers on them. As far as weight, they started at 135. This one from the 605 is at 134.8, so I would say absolutely nothing lost there. This one from the 608 is at 135.0, so again, nothing lost from either one of those gold dots. And then as far as the size, we'll start with the 605 here. You got 5.47 and 5.57, so very, very nice expansion again for a 2-inch revolver. And then the 608 here, you got 5.78 and 5.76, so once again, very, very nice even expansion from both of those. And there you go, y'all, the Speer Gold Dot 357 Magnum Short Barrel 135 grain. I think this is some really impressive performance for what this is. Now, my biggest complaint would be the energy level, the velocity and energy. This is a 357 Magnum after all, and I'm sure people who run 357 Magnum feel the same way about it as I do about 10 mil. The only thing that I feel like is a little bit different in the case of 357 Mag and 38 versus 10 mil and 40 is the fact that I personally don't feel like 38 Special is up to snuff the way that 40 Smith & Wesson is, if you get what I'm saying. I feel like 40, the gap between 40 Smith & Wesson and 10 is so small that there's no need to jump up to that 10 to run a 40 powered round, but the gap between the performance on 357 Magnum and 38 Special, I feel like is a lot wider, so I could see why somebody might want to run a little bit softer 357 Magnum, because really even soft 357 Magnum is going to be a lot stronger than most standard 38 Special. But with that being said, and y'all know me personally, if I'm carrying 357 Mag, it's going to be a hot mama stuff. I mean hot stuff. So this probably wouldn't be it, although I would not feel like I was totally underprepared or unprepared with this right here. All right, y'all, I'm gonna wrap it up right there for what was a pretty impressive 357 Magnum short barrel test. Again, for what these are claiming to be, I think they did a fantastic job. They did exactly what they claimed from the shortest barrel that they claim to do it from. And even though, you know, like I've already said, I want more than this from a 357 Magnum, you really got to give them credit for that 2-inch barrel sub 1,000 to get that kind of expansion and that kind of penetration. That really is pretty impressive for a short barrel 357 Magnum. But let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments, especially those of y'all who do run 357 Mag on a regular and EDC it. What do you think about the performance out of these right here? Particularly, what do you think about the power level? Are you like me as far as 10 mil? How I am about 10 mil? Are y'all the same way as far as 357 Magnum? Or are you okay with a little bit lighter load based on kind of what I talked about earlier, the discrepancy between 38 Special and 357 Mag? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so hopefully you get notified when I upload stuff. Again, a reminder to check out those affiliate links in the video description. Anything you grab after checking those links out helps the channel, so I really appreciate that. Big thanks again to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for showing the support to the channel all the way to 100,000 subs and plenty more to come. I've got some really good stuff on the way, so stay on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.